Okay, we're live. James speaking, trainingsites.io. Claude.ai just brought out a brand new model, and it's changing everything again for us. If you're a video content creator, course creator, if you're doing any kind of educational content, you're going to want to find out about it because it does a really good job for course creators, even though the whole buzz about it is from all the technical people who are creating code because it's supposed to be wonderful at that as well. So the new model is called Claude 3.7. You can see it's Claude 3.7 Sonnet and Claude Code. The one that you may see a whole bunch of videos about shortly are about Claude Code, and those are the programmers that are going crazy over this. I don't really care about that stuff. Again, I'll put the link to the announcement here if you do have to see it, but it's like all technical stuff that really doesn't matter to you and me if we're in the educational space, because all we want to do is we want to figure out, how do I create better video content? How do I create courses? How do I build out my learning environment and be able to sell all this great information and experience that I have? So what I'm going to do in this time, I'm actually going to go and I'm going to show you from a single prompt or a single sentence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the results from technically four different AI versions or tools, and I'm going to show you the difference in the results. And the final one is the Claude 3.7, and this one is flippy good at doing it, and it's the one that I'm going to be using. After you see it, you'll know why for the next little while as I create all of my learning material at trainingsites.io/join, which is there free for you to join my community. All of my courses, everything that I do is there: videos, courses, prompt library, documents. It's all there and available for you to access for free. So I'd love to see you join and come in and let me help you start, build, and grow your education business. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a look at a couple of the different tools that are available to us now. All of these tools are the most recent versions of tools, AI tools, the popular ones, and I'm only using a single sentence as the prompt. So the first one I tried out was Gemini 2.0 Flash. You can see my mouse moving there. This is the new one from Google. And all I did is I took a simple sentence, and the sentence was, create a 4-week curriculum for beginners learning to play piano. Now, I don't play piano, so I don't know how accurate the answers are. However, I'm looking more at the structure and the layout and the way the information is presented to me, not the validity of the actual training content, which I expect you to do if you are a piano teacher. So it gave me I asked for a 4-week curriculum. I didn't give any context. I didn't upload any special documents or reference materials. I didn't give special instructions. All of the things that are available with the AI tools, I didn't. I just used one sentence. And it said, absolutely. And it gave me some overall goals, a curriculum breakdown into 4 weeks. And each of the weeks, it had objectives and activities. And again, it was like keyboard exploration and basic concepts, music notation and rhythm, and it put out, expanding notes and introducing intervals, and then simple songs and continued development. So it was 4 weeks. And it was pretty simple, pretty eh. What I use this, if the information was what I teach already, I might use it as something to start from and then start weaving my story and my learning, my experience in it, just based on the structure. Either that, or I got to do a whole bunch of additional prompts and clarifying in context to get it to look like something that I maybe would have done by myself. Bottom line is, there's still a lot of work to do it when you're doing it this particular way. So Gemini from Google, again, this one's brand new. I haven't used it too much. There's other reasons to use Google Gemini Flash too, which I've covered in some other videos. But I said, you know what? We better go and use the ChatGPT version and see what our good friend ChatGPT had to come up with the exact same prompt. So what I did here is I just used the same prompt. And let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. Create a 4-week curriculum for beginners learning to play piano. And you'll see right here where my mouse is moving, it says ChatGPT o1. This is the brand new version reasoning model from ChatGPT. This is the one I think that became public to the Plus users just in the last couple of weeks. So this is the high-end AI tool that's available. And what I did, I used the same prompt and it reasoned for a few seconds. You can see that here. And it said, I'm working through a structured 4-week piano curriculum focusing on posture, key names, reading music, scales, and simple songs. So that other one from Gemini had some kind of bland ones. This one's a little more detail on it, but it's got daily practice tips and assignments are included. And this is what we got. So I got the week and I got objectives. And then I got basically in this one, maybe 3 or 4 kind of lessons that can be done in each of the weeks. So this one was a lot better in that it was more structured and more specific. And it also broke it down into maybe 4 examples that could be done during the week, or 4 lessons or teaching pieces that could be done if you were doing it, for example, with a weekly training. These might be the 4 areas that you want to show, and it had ideas on what you can actually teach during it, which is a really great start. And it did the week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see it's got expanding techniques and coordination, and then actually going and playing it, building musicality and confidence. I just came across a little more professional and closer to what I would probably be using. And again, that one's great. That was a reasoning model, great place to start. So until now, until earlier today, there was one that I used on a regular basis, and that was called Claude.ai. And the model that was out with Claude was this one called 3.5 Sonnet. And I'll show you this one now. What I did is I said, well, you know what? I better give that prompt that I gave to those other ones, I better give it to the original 3.5 and see what it came up with. So that's exactly what I did. I did the prompt here. And again, if you haven't seen this interface before, and if you do go to trainingsites.io/join, I have a whole course on how to use Claude. But on the right-hand side, these are called artifacts. And this is basically the document of what you asked for. And on the left-hand side here, it is basically the description of how it came up with the answer and its reasoning behind it. So this one said, I'll create a beginner-friendly that breaks down the learning process into manageable weekly chunks. Let me create a structured format. There's the artifact that's there, and then it basically tells you what it did. And you'll notice it's organized in the way it could be easily adopted into video lessons with a clear progression and practical daily exercises, which is great. So if I go and I open that one, you'll see on the right-hand side, this is the actual document that I asked for. So this isn't the ChatGPT one, this is the old Claude one. And it's broken it in a really, really nice format. And it's got week 1, learning goals, practice schedules, and key concepts. So it didn't break it down into 3 or 4 pieces. What it did, it actually picked it out into the goals and the key concepts as 3 pieces there in, what was it, the learning goals and the daily practice ones. So it broke it down a little bit different. There was a lot of great content there. The reason that I like this one better than ChatGPT in many cases, especially when you're creating curriculum and course materials, is it just sounds a little more authentic and conversational than ChatGPT does. So I think the language is a little bit, I don't know what to use the word broader, but more understanding and more normal as to what a piano teacher would say as opposed to what an AI tool would say. So it broke it down into the 4 weeks, which was great. Practice tips for sessions, recommended resources. It did a really good job of that. So I'm going, okay, great. That's the one that's there. You know, ChatGPT and Claude did really good versions of that. Gemini wasn't too hot, but those 2 are really good. What's going to happen, or why is it so special with this brand new version of 3.7? And I did a little bit of digging before I did this video. And again, this just came out a couple hours ago. I think maybe 6 or 7 hours ago it was announced. So I was trying to figure out 3.5, 3.7, what's really the difference and what does it mean to me as a course creator? And the little bit of research that I did, there's a couple things that jumped out at me. There's a list of 4. I'll put them in as a lesson in this micro course that I'm adding to the trainingsites.io campus. But these ones, there's kind of 2 that jump out. There's 4, but 2 are important to me. Here's the one that says, Claude 3.7 is noticeably better at organizing information in a way that flows naturally for educational purposes, creating logical learning sequences that build on previous concepts, and suggesting more effective ways to break down complex topics for beginners. Tick, tick, tick. Those are great things that we can use when we're creating videos and or learning content. And then here's the other one that I think is even more important. It said multimedia content planning. This new model is more effective at organizing information in a way that that helping plan visual components that complement verbal explanations. Ah, that's pretty cool. Suggesting natural transition points in educational videos, tick off the box, and identify concepts that would benefit with visual aids versus verbal explanations. So, what happens in real life when we do the exact same thing with this particular prompt? So, let's go take a look and find out. So, what I did here, open it up. I have this one. You'll notice this one, if you look on the bottom there, it says Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So this is the new version. I use the exact same prompt here. I'll just make this a little bit bigger. Um, Same prompt, and it said 4-week piano curriculum. And this one gave me, hey, holy mackerel, day 1, 2, day 3 and 4, day 5 and 7. This broke this down far more logical sequence and chunks that are easily teachable, put it all together, 5 to 7, and it did them for all of the weeks. And you can see it was getting acquainted with the piano was the first week. Second week was reading music and expanding range, building musical elements, and then we got bringing it all together. So this one is more of a start and an end, and then there's actually a transformation that's being provided, and it's really, really well thought out and put well together. So balances technical skill with musicality, ensuring beginners not only learn how to play notes, but understand music as a language. So here's the part that is super cool that I think is the valuable part in all of this work that we're doing in creating content. Artifacts. On the right-hand side, it also created 2 additional artifacts. One was this one here, which was a curriculum. That's a curriculum we were just looking at. The ones that are here is, watch what happens here. I've got a piano, a graphic that was created. I didn't do that. I didn't ask for it. It's here. It got created for me. So we've now got the keyboard positioning the notes on the piano, and this is something that can be used in the course materials that you're actually creating. And again, I did this with the one sentence output. You can clarify this and actually go and work on it to change the keys, the colors, anything that you want there. But we've got a visual representation that was built by the tool by a one sentence request for a curriculum. So I think that's pretty cool. Again, I'll make these available. I'll publish them so you can see them. That was just one of them. The other one was piano practice. What the heck's this? I have a practice tracking sheet. I didn't ask for this. It's here. Getting acquainted with the piano, week 1. It's got all of the stuff to say, hey, did you do it or not do it? Reading music and expanding range. It's got all of the points that are a checklist to reference the material you should have been teaching. And again, week 4 all the way through. Recording checklists, monthly skills assessment, musical skills where stuff is, and notes for future learning. So this 3.7 is pretty flippy. I think it takes things to the next level if you're creating video content or if you're teaching something and you need to have it in small manageable chunks that make sense to you and the people that you're trying to teach. So if you haven't already, make sure that you do have a Claude account. It's claude.ai.com. Absolutely wonderful tool for video and course content and educational material. And this new 3.7 opens the door again to another wonderful tool that we can leverage that makes our job easier and allows us to do something that I think most people are missing in all of this AI tool stuff, is it's allowing us to be far more creative and open our mind to other opportunities and possibilities are there on how it is that we package up and share our great content. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more about starting, building, and growing an education business and get free access to all my content, just make sure to go to trainingsites.io/join. It's free and I'm there to help you. So take care, expect the best. We'll be back shortly with another great video to show you how to build your own personal platform.